The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Tuesday, the 15th day of April 2025. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamel Hartman, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break brought to you by People's. Well, folks, it is the second day of the traditional work week and a lot to talk about. And it's one of those mornings where you're like, well, which direction should you go? So, all right. I want to touch on this real quickly. Kappa tournament. A lot has been said about the Kappa tournament, from the weather to the parents, to the clubs and coaches, to the on-field behavior of certain players. It's a lot to talk about, but we have some other things to discuss as well. So greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Stacy-Ann Brown on. Yeah, you see her name. She wins a lot on the show. So I guess she rules herself out the winnings today since she's a guest. But she's coming on to talk about Toastmasters Bermuda. Yeah, Toastmasters. I remember when I was in graduate school, I was in Toastmasters because, believe it or not, I am not a public speaker, folks. And I know you all probably saying, oh, no, you do this. There's a big difference between sitting behind a mic and being on a mic in front of a live audience, like people where you can touch them and they can throw something at you if you say something. Big difference. So looking forward to the conversation with Stacy-Ann Brown about Toastmasters. And hopefully some of you all will find a need to actually join such a club, because I tell you what, public speaking is something we all may have to do at some point in our lives. And public speaking doesn't mean you'll be, preaching or, doing politics. It could mean you representing your company or, your family. It's so many different aspects. So looking forward to that conversation. The daily play is, a remember when today. A remember when. So I hope you all have your history books out today. No Google and no Chat GPT or any sort of AI. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Suzanne Ingham says, an awesome Tuesday, Jamel and Maya. I miss Larry and Sherry, and an awesome Tuesday to you. Well, maybe they can tell you they miss you too, but I don't want to put words in their mouth, Suzanne. I don't want to do that. But look, so real quickly, before we jump into today's topic, yes or no, anyone in the audience ever participate in the Kappa Classic that the Kappa fraternity brothers put on? And let me just start by saying we'll probably discuss this more in depth when Sanchez on the show. But I first off, I want to give props to the Kappas. I was involved over 15 years ago when I was coaching at my home club, North Village, and quite enjoyed what the experience I had with my players. It's supposed to be a fun event, right? And at that age, football is really supposed to be about development. But it hasn't been without controversy, right? And I think we have a tendency. Here's what really disgusts me. Larry said last week, he said, man, you created a topic on top of a topic last week. But sometimes I just have to speak what's on my mind and on my heart. And I think we do something very dangerous in our society, whether it's with family, friends, colleagues. I've noticed a pattern in our society. I had a friend of mine say to me yesterday, he called me out about some things. And I'm pretty sure his face was shocked when I said, yeah, actually, you're right. I am to blame. I have no problem taking accountability. I don't. And I think what we have in our society right now is extremely dangerous, in my opinion, is where we become dismissive. And this is not an age thing. This is a mindset thing. It's and I don't even say it's a cultural thing. But I say it's not cultural because you see it in the United States as well, right? The same things you hated that people said and did with Barack Obama, you're fine with Donald Trump. Now, you may have your reasons for that, but it's almost like we dismiss what doesn't align with our thinking. I'm sorry, but I'm not that person. And I'm not telling you to be like me, but I tell you what, the world would be a better place if we actually done more listening, right? We only seem to want to listen and take on things that align with us and make us feel good. We like calling people who disagree with us all kinds of names, whether loudly or not. Names that really make no sense when we get down to it. So how am I tying that to Kappa? You all saw the incident, and if you didn't, I'm not going to share it because I don't believe in sharing things with children in videos. But there was an incident where a child pretty much looked like kicked another child in the chest, which was not a football play. And it went around in different chats, I guess, and was shared on social, I guess. I don't know. And everyone had opinions. And from what I was told, this child was allowed to still play. And then there was a letter or something that came from FC Bascom, said they were pulling their team out. And now I read last night on the Bermuda Broadcasting Post, someone who obviously is affiliated with the Kappas, basically calling FC Bascom out for making a spectacle of it. And then you see parents in their defensive. You know, I shared something on social media this morning. I said on Twitter X, and here's the tweet. I said, clarity is king. You can say the exact same thing to 10 different people, and all 10 may interpret what is said differently. Perspective. What I mean by that is we can all see the same damn thing, the same incident. And every last one of us will interpret it differently. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I really am not. Like I said, we'll discuss this in more depth when Sancha's back on, as she's a parent and she was present. But I would love to have a conversation deeper with football officials, football coaches, soccer moms or parents, and also organizations like the Kappas who have invested a lot over the years in creating such a tournament for young, talented footballers to be able to be present. But I think in order for something like that to sustain itself and be great, we must be a bit more open. And I think, you know, one of the things, we've spoken about for years, Teo and myself back in the day, and even now, is about the oppressed becoming the oppressor. The tolerant becoming the intolerant. I've noticed the trend. I don't like it. I don't want to be around people like that. I don't believe a strong community or society will thrive on that. All right, let's get into today's topic. And thank you, Sandra says yes from Maddox. Been involved in Kappa, and Sean Smith says also been involved in Kappa. All right, so let's jump into today's topic. We do have a guest. We've got the news coming up as well. But I asked another question yesterday, folks. I did ask another question. And that question was, has anyone seen or heard from their MP since the general election? So question of the morning is, how do you feel about Bermuda since the general election? How do you feel about Bermuda since the general election on a whole? How do you feel about Bermuda since the general election? And have you seen or heard from your MP since the general election? Now, I'm going to go over on the tweets and let you know what some folks were saying, because it was interesting. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting what was some of the things that were said. So how do I go to the tweet? Okay, here we go. So over on the Twitter, we had, so Charles H. Jefferson II, he says, is attending a community meeting considered hearing from them? Well, what are your thoughts, audience? Do you think that, we asked the question, have you seen or heard from your MP since the general election? This person saying, well, they've had community meetings. Is that part of it? Like, I mean, to me, that's still them doing the work or putting themselves out there. Instead of going house to house, they got to see everyone at once. All right, so let's go to the audience here, and then I'll go back to what's not Facebook, Twitter X. So we've got Jody Zool says, we can't expect more from if your adults don't take the youth. We can't expect more from the youth if the adults don't take accountability. That was regarding the conversation with the young footballers. Okay, thank you for that. So how do you feel about Bermuda since the general election? I mean, from what I have on my notes, do you all feel confident about how Bermuda's going to respond to the tariffs? And obviously, you all were pretty upset about the politicians and the whole raise thing, them getting an increase. But have you seen or heard from your MP since the general election? Jody Zool says, no, I never saw them during the election either. Okay. We've got Kenton Trott says, I have heard from my MP. He sends me messages regularly now. As they say, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Okay. Now, Kenton, it's 2 months this week since the general election. Let's see how long that keeps up for. I'm gonna think positive. Let's think positive. We've got Diane Elliott says, yes, C11 Famous is very present. He is. I think it was Larry Miles Jr. said, man, Famous is the blueprint of how most MPs or all MPs should probably rock. We've got Traveling Trotty said, did not see my MP before, during, or after the election. Sounds like a stronghold either side. Like that MP probably knows that they'll win regardless, so they don't have to spend time. Hellion Swan says, nope. I want you all to call names. I know you won't, but I want you to call names, because the only way we're going to get true accountability is we say, no, I haven't seen my MP such and such. Like the same way how Diane Elliott mentioned Famous, because he has been around. Well, if they haven't, why are we not calling names, or are we not there yet? Suzanne Ingham says, yes, I've heard from him several times. Okay, so she's heard from her MP. Polly Rich says, what is any different? I haven't seen my MP. Okay. Anthony Richardson says, MPs have gone back into hibernation. So how do we avoid, okay. So it seems like the consensus, and let me go back to the Twitter X. So some of the other answers we got, when I asked, has anybody seen or heard from their MP since the general election? Someone said, do fish walk? Yeah, do fish walk? Another person says, Pa, I can't even remember who my MP is right now. Yeah. Another person says, my MP is golfing with President Trump currently. What MP is currently golfing with President Trump? Share a name. Another person said, no, but I'm sure next time I hear from him, it'll be in violation of PIPA again. Oh. Another person says, you got jokes. Okay. We have someone who says, yes, multiple times they've seen their MP. Another said, I saw mine at a wedding, congratulated him, and joked to get the roads out, point paved. Had a good laugh, but there has been 2 workers cleaning up the overgrowth on the roads on St. John's Road and North Shore Road ever since. Well, that's props to that person. We've got another person who says, Pa, just sent a follow-up email this morning because I still haven't heard back from him about something he claimed he will help with. Interesting. Another person says, nope, didn't see him before or after. And another says, none. This is not looking good. So what do we do about it? We haven't heard from him. Remember, we spoke about this before the election, right? We've got, again, audience question of the morning. How do you feel about Bermuda since the general election? Like, how do you feel? Are you confident that, since you haven't seen your MPs, based on your responses, Bermuda's heading in the right direction? And I mean, have you seen them? Michelle Dorr says, mine speaks via WhatsApp. Okay, good stuff. I know quite a few MPs. I think Diallo Urbain is very good at that. Minister Diallo Urbain. Sancha Drum says, nope, I never saw my MP leading up to the election. Sounds like a strong hope. Manuela John says, Kim Swan has continued to communicate and is available. All right, MP Swan. Sancha Durham said Kim Wilson, sorry. Kim Wilson is her MP. So hasn't seen her MP leading up to the election. Interesting. Charles H. Jefferson II says, I would love to see all candidates. I had 4 candidates, but I've heard from 2 of them since the election. Well, thank you for saying that, because I don't think it's just on the MPs, right? If you ran for, I think it was David Rogers ran for the One Bermuda Alliance. And usually, especially if the party that doesn't win, the person who doesn't win in that seat usually goes quiet and off into the wilderness. But I believe he released an op-ed recently, and I was encouraged by it because I'm like, okay, this is how it's supposed to be done. Because if those candidates just show up for the election and go missing, how do Bermudians truly benefit? They have to be present. So I appreciate what Charles is saying. Like, I believe all candidates, if you truly wanted to run to represent the people of these constituencies, then you should make yourself available. I've got a question for Sanchez, and she said Kim Wilson. Does she at least have, like, what do they call them, clinics or anything, where people can attend or come out to see her? Because that would be helpful. What else, audience? I'd like to know, how do you feel about Bermuda since the general election? Like, are you disengaged? Do you care? Are you just trying to make ends meet and feed yourself and your family? Do you believe that Bermuda's better off? Now, keep in mind, we had a throne speech. The budget, we still haven't come up on that yet. The budget's not until next month, almost 3 weeks, like May 2nd. It's early, it's May something. We still haven't had that. But we are dealing, and credit to the One Bermuda Alliance, they have been on it about dealing with the cost of living. But how do, like, are you as the electorate, are you as the people of Bermuda okay? I mean, I know you had a lot to say about members of parliament receiving raises. I differ from you on all that. I differ from you on that. I believe that we should pay people based on value. And I'm not saying those who are currently elected, their value is worth more. I'm simply saying that I am a believer in the people I've spoken to that if you improve the pay, will attract better candidates. I know that's a big debate. I'm a believer in that, though. I do believe that. I do believe that however we feel about Bermuda since the general election is really on us. It's on each and every one of us. Just last week or week before, there was a lot of conversation about the new studio apartments and apartments up there where the Grand Atlantic is. People were very unhappy with it, saying this is not affordable housing. A lot. I mean, did they use the term affordable? I just remember them going away from affordable and started saying housing. Language is important. Go back to what I said earlier. Interpretation, perspective. 10 people hearing the same thing, witnessing the same thing, and all 10 sharing a different perspective based on what they heard and saw. That's human. That's just the human in us, right? Sean Smith, says, I saw on TikTok Misha Fublet inviting people to a community meetup. Okay. Yeah, he's definitely. Misha is one of those people I can have a lot of time for. We may not agree on a lot of things, but I think that's the beauty in it, right? That's the beauty in it. I'll tell you this here. There was a time in my life when I mean, you all, if you knew me during conscription, you disagreed with us. We were scrapping. And you learn and you grow, right? And you understand things. Look, the other day I read something, and I saw the Bermuda Regiment were offering a scholarship to Bermuda College. And it made me so excited that I wanted to call up the regiment and say, man, I was saying this when we were fighting conscription. But see, I'm happy. I'm excited. It was something I thought made sense. And back then, it was a suggestion more so that they can move away from conscription and really try to do something to attract the best of Bermuda. But if you disagreed, I didn't want to hear nothing. Like, you couldn't disagree with me. But you kind of understand as you go through life. You know, Kobe Bryant said it, you know, when he was playing, all he wanted to do was win. He didn't even really enjoy the journey sometimes, right? And when we're so focused on the end result, we dismiss the journey. I think Misha is one of those people who it's a journey for him. Just like Dwayne Robinson, who he was defeated by in constituency 30, I think it was. But there's a journey to these guys. Dwayne lost the last election, I believe, against Dennis Lister III. He saw an opportunity to help people in a different area. I think Misha's doing the same thing, and they're building a sense of community along the way. So not about the end result, winning or losing, but really building that sense of community. I think that's what people need. That's what Bermuda needs. Sandra Durham says she does outside of West End School on Saturdays. So Kim Wilson has her little meetups on Saturdays at West End School. Well, on Saturday mornings, that's when probably parents are taking their children to football, or if they're Adventist, probably Sabbath school. Suzanne Ingham said, I have contact with Omar and King several times a week. They are very reliable. I've never heard anything from government or Lindsay. So I think that's Senator Lindsay Simmons. Graham Smith, I'll read it from the side. That's a lot. Here we go again, getting distracted by mostly meaningless tweets when we have record levels of homelessness, immigration by Bermudians, income equality, and affordable housing crisis, a national debt crisis with it reaching close to 100% of our GDP, roads, bridges, parks, government buildings falling apart before our eyes, a barely functioning finance hospital. When will some real leaders step up with real hard work of transparent long-term policy making that will make the lives of Bermudians? And it stops there. Here's what I'll say to what Mr. Smith's saying. Thank you. And I'm not saying thank you because I agree with everything you said or I expect you to agree with me. I'm saying thank you because I just put 2 points, the raise in pay and the tariffs, that pretty much seems to be scaring the living daylights out of Bermudians. But what he's also said is those key problems, like this almost 2 months since the election, and there's no solutions in sight for some key issues, at least on the surface, that many of us know. Folks, this is your daily discussion brought to you by our friends at Titan Express and Secure Trucking. Let's give them some love. Then we got Maya Palacio coming up with the Daily Hour news break. After that, we got Stacy-Ann Brown. You don't want to miss this, folks. She's going to tell you how you can improve your public speaking. Yep, me too.
The Daily Discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Visit TitanEXBDA.com, your leading tour and transport provider specializing in Black History tours throughout the island. And SecureBDA.com for all your property management, waste management, residential, and commercial trucking needs. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is our commitment to you.
All righty. Let's bring Maya Palacio in for Daily Hour News Break. After that, we've got a very special guest. Folks, you've seen her in the audience. You've seen her win a lot of Daily Hour prizes. Now, today, we got to speak to her about one of her favorite topics, Toastmasters. Yeah, if you don't know about Toastmasters, you want to make sure that you remain locked in. Greetings, MP. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Feeling pretty good this morning.
Well, that is amazing. That is amazing. I got something for you after you're done with your news. So I know you're going to love this one. It's not a joke.
Okay.
My goodness. Anyway, what you got today?
Good morning, everyone. This is your Daily Hour News Break brought to you by the good people at People's Pharmacy. Just a reminder, People's on Victoria Street is open 1 hour longer a day. All right, so let's hop into our news break this morning. What if we told you that working less could actually make you more productive? I think a lot of people have actually thought about this theory before. So Japan, a country known for its intense work culture, is flipping the script after successful trials. More companies there are moving toward a 4-day work week, and it's hope to tackle the global issue of low birth rates.
Starting April 2025, Tokyo will adopt a 4-day work week for government employees to tackle its quiet emergency. What's the crisis? Japan's population has been shrinking since 2008. Projections show a nosedive from 128 million to 86.7 million by 2060. The root? Low fertility rates. National average is 1.2, far below the replacement rate of 2.1. Tokyo, even worse at 0.99. It's not just about birth rates, but gender disparity is massive too. Japanese women do 5 times more unpaid work than men. What's in the policy? 3-day weekends, more time for personal life and family. Parents with kids in grades 1 to 3 can work 2 hours less daily by accepting a small pay cut.
Okay, so moving into even more details about this and thinking about yourself, could this be something that could actually happen in Bermuda? Well, a University of Toronto sociology professor, Mr. Scott, believes that though it's a start, it's unlikely to move to Canada. And a lot has to do with the trusting of what people will actually do with their free time in an economy that is expensive. Now, this is what he had to say about the trend and whether or not it's actually feasible.
I think part of it is just the idea that if you let people have 4 days a week, whether they'll actually shift it over to the kinds of things that you're hoping for. With issues like cost of living and needing more money, that I think people might take the extra time that they get with the reduced work week from their main job and shift it over to picking up a side hustle.
I'm interested. Audience, would you be in favor of a 4-day work week? Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people's probably like, first instance, oh, yes. But something he just said. Think about most people. I see people talking about weekends. Weekends supposed to be my time off, and I find myself working more on weekends, doing laundry, taking care of my kids, doing this, doing that. Like, there's no time to rest. What would an extra day do? Like, would it give you that time to rest or recuperate or so on? Or would you find yourself doing more work?
And that's the real question, right? Because with us facing, again, high cost of living, declining birth rate in Bermuda as well, this is a growing concern as to like, how can we encourage the family to have more family within, the homes of Bermuda? So I think even we were talking about it in Vegas, Jamal, about like what is actually offered to parents who have children in Bermuda. Like what sort of incentives are there for us to like grow our population, because right now we're living in such a crisis of, our low birth rate. So this 4-day work week, even if it was to be put in, what are people actually going to do with their time? Do you actually think they're going to prioritize having babies?
Yeah, I think that's what Charles is kind of asking. Like, do they think they're going to be doing, creating more children with the spare time?
That's exactly it, Charles. Having more time at home, they believe will help to increase that birth rate, as well as, I guess, also decrease the stress levels and the work ethic as well. So they're hoping that like a bunch of little things will help trickle and start measuring up into the things that they actually want, which is higher birth rates within the country.
Yeah. Kenton Trott said he's in favor of a 4-day work week. Nicole Walker says with the same pay, yes. We've got Sherilyn Johnson says yes. WKD Lama said 4 days will be perfect, a day to run errands or spend with family and friends. And Charles says, doing dirtness. Well, I mean, yeah.
Guess that's one way you could put it, Charles. I'm sure, but yeah, let's see what it actually does, because I do remember when it was in the trial stages for the country. So now it's actually implemented.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see, and I guess Bermuda will look to it as well to see if it's actually something beneficial that'll might be able to be driven here. All right, so in other news, the city of Hamilton is pleased to advise that Fresh Air Films is back. I know there was a lot of rain over the weekend, so we couldn't have it, but they rescheduled it to Thursday, April the 17th, following the weather disappointment. So the event will take place at the City Hall car park with the same double feature originally planned. So you got Moana 2 and also Wicked. So that's at 6 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. Now the entry is free as long as you have proof that you actually spent $25 or more within the city of Hamilton's businesses. And that will be between like March 1st and April 17th. So go to the city, maybe shop a little, show a ticket, and get to spend some time with the family on Fresh Air Films and watch these amazing movies together.
I love that idea. I love that. I remember they used to have the movies on the beach and stuff. I just like anything that takes us away from the norms. I hope it doesn't kill businesses in Bermuda, but I just like the uniqueness of it. So yeah.
I mean, the point is to show that you actually supported businesses. So I hope it doesn't do too much of the opposite. Now, I did want to show this while I was looking up some pictures of the city of Hamilton, a little before and after, if you guys remember what it was like back in the day with the fountains there, and also now what it's looking like today. If you could remember any fond memories of, being in that water, even maybe falling in or tripping in it when it was there, and also just the viewpoints of like how we're looking from yesterday's and today's in Bermuda, and how many people actually remember that it was actually a fountain there.
Well, I mean, I miss the koi fish. You know what I'm saying? And I remember the koi fish at Hamilton Princess went around the same time. So my question is, where do we see koi fish in Bermuda now? That used to be a staple, man. The koi fish at City Hall and the koi fish at Hamilton Princess. They just took the koi fish away. Exactly, Michelle Doris. We love watching the fish. Damn, Maya's generation came and scared them away. She was scared the fish. You remember the fish, right, Maya?
Pardon?
You remember the fish, though, right?
I'm trying my best to remember fish, but I just remember throwing money in there.
Yeah, there were like koi fish. Yeah.
I don't remember the fish.
Oh, wow. Okay, I just aged myself.
And you just brought a new memory back to my head, because I'm like, I remember the water. I remember throwing some coins in. Like, I remember almost tripping in it a couple times, but.
Yeah, I know a person or two who's fell in there thinking they were, okay. Koi fish, come on, everyone remembers the koi fish. Don't act like I'm the only one who remembers the koi fish, folks. Come on now.
That's it too. Why would they have it out just like that in the book? Anyway, that's another story there. But before I close out with the weather, just want to clue you guys into an upcoming story that I'll be having this week on the show. In a significant shift in digital landscape, OpenAI's ChatGPT has emerged as the world's most downloaded app in March of 2025, overtaking social media giants Instagram and TikTok. So according to data from App Figures, ChatGPT garnered an impressive 46 million downloads last month, 13 million on the iOS, and 33 million on the Android. Now, this marks a 28% increase from February, positioning it just ahead of Instagram's 46 million and TikTok's 45 million downloads. So the question we'll be answering this week after speaking to a number of educators in Bermuda is, how are schools working to separate the dependence of ChatGPT on today's students?
Looking forward to that. I appreciate AI. I was on the phone with my bro last night for like an hour. We were talking about AI. He's a Grammy Award music producer and just talking to me about AI. I'm like, I don't want to use it. It's like, no, this is what you need. And I'm just like fighting it. And yeah, eventually I gave in. But yeah, I'm one of those people. It took me about a year to trust using Uber, folks. I'm one of those people. Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, AI is there and you're going to be using it without even knowing you're using it. Like, I believe at the conference, I was in the class talking about, well, it's going to be in Spotify music. It's already there. So if you have like just a shuffle, there's already AI music probably playing in there that you don't even know it's AI music, because you're thinking, oh, probably a new artist, but it's not. So like, that's something that's already like in your music right now that you probably didn't even realize you're probably listening to something that was AI generated.
Yep. I ain't gonna say no more. I might offend somebody.
All right, so moving on, just to close up with you guys with the weather, it's looking like a mix of sun and clouds. So less windy than yesterday and a little bit higher of a temperature, but the humidity is still going to definitely be there. Still expect a little bit of moderate to strong sort of winds, though, at some point midday. We've got a high of 73.
All right, thank you for that. Today, I said you'll like this one, Maya. I feel like we have this at least a couple times a year, but it's World Art Day. World Art Day. And I just want to ask everyone in the audience, when it comes to art, what is your favorite anything art? Anything art, what's your favorite? What's your favorite, Maya?
What's my favorite type of art? That's such a good question. What is my favorite type of art? What do I like? That's such a broad question too,
It
because
is.
I mean, art is everything.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, I'm gonna go with portraits. I do love a good portrait from the eyes of an artist, to see
Mhm.
how they see people, because I always find it fascinating that we never really see ourselves. Like, you can't look at your own face. You can only see the reflection of it for your entire lifetime. So it's amazing to see how people see you. So I'm gonna go portraits, and I'm also gonna go poetry, because I do believe that, like, poetry was like one of probably the first writers who like radicalized nations in their speech and how they like spoke to make people think deeper about what's actually going on around them. So I'm gonna go with those two.
All right. Well, we've got Suzanne Ingham says the new artist is AI. So that's her favorite, I guess.
Stop, Suzanne. Don't say that.
I love photography. Michelle Doors. Anthony Richardson says visual and music art. We've got music, says Anika de Shields. We've got Crystalline L says structural art pieces. Charles H. Jefferson II says painted murals. We have several new ones around Bermuda now. Music, says Nicole Walker. Pictures, music, and animation, said Sean Smith. It's interesting because, man, she just said it. Rosalind Famous, black and white street photography. I love to see photography that has depth, meaning like when you can take a picture, like if someone screenshot you and me right now and can literally place us in anywhere, like using, like, I just love the way people do it, put us in black and white. I think black and white photos are so nostalgic, like really. Yeah, man. Something about that really makes me enjoy and appreciate the mindset of an artist. So that's the kind of art I love. But I have only grown to appreciate art as I've gotten older. I didn't understand it at one point. I never went to be because I couldn't draw. I thought it was just down to drawing, and it's so much more. Like you said, words, poetry, music, right? It's so much more to it. I just think that I was never taught how fun art was, and I'm glad that I have an appreciation for it today. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, man. We see it every single day in our lives.
Indeed, indeed. Well, MP, you have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. We're going to be talking to Stacy-Ann Brown when we come back. Have you heard of Toastmasters before?
I have,
Have you
but I'll
really?
just leave it at that.
Oh,
I'll let her say more about it. But yes, I have.
all right. Well, we're going to have Stacy-Ann Brown coming up. So we'll talk to you soon, MP.
Talk to you soon.
All right, folks. You don't want to miss this. Really good conversation coming up. And we've got, well, let's go through these last few. WKD Lama says street life, especially old Bermuda. Music and photography, says Emanuela John. We've got painting, crafts, icing cakes, sand art, carvings, poetry, sketching. So just everything, Suzanne. Sherilyn Johnson says photography, poetry, Wanda Armstrong, music and photography. And yeah, I appreciate that. We all appreciate art. Folks, if you haven't done this already, whatever platform you're on, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter X, Instagram, do us a huge favor right now. It costs you nothing. Give us a like, love, follow, share this conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We are going to be talking to one of our TDH community members after this break. We'll be back with how we're helping Bermudians become better public speakers. Stick with us.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Hi Hi there, welcome to Medical House. We're located at number 6 Bakery Lane. I can't wait to show you all of the great stuff that we carry. Come on inside, let's see. Long days, long shifts, you no longer have to endure comfortable underwear. Designed by nurses, we now offer premium undergarments by Swoop that are unique, fun, comfortable, and functional. The only underwear you'll ever want to wear. Who says high quality functional products can be stylish and comfortable at the same time?
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Attention home renovators and design lovers, your dream space starts here. The brand new Kohler retail showroom at BAC Group is now open, bringing you up to 35% savings on all Kohler products at U.S. manufacturer suggested retail prices. That means no extra fees, no freight, no wharfage, no duty, no document processing fees, just pure cutting-edge Kohler design at unbeatable value. From sleek kitchen and bathroom faucets, vanities, toilets, to statement sinks, walking tubs, and spa-worthy bathtubs, BAC brings innovation and luxury within reach. Visit the BAC showroom on Mill Creek Road today for style, quality, no surprises. Just color from BAC.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda business starts here.
Join us as we celebrate 5 years and 1,000 plus episodes of community conversations on Bermuda's daily talk show. The Daily Hour Gala takes place on April 26th at LF Wade International Airport. For more information and advance tickets, please send an email to admin@bermudacommunications.com. We look forward to celebrating all that's great about our community with all of you.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Big Show. Jamal Hartman here. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Folks, we are excited. Next Saturday, it's all going down LF Wade International Airport. I'm happy. We are almost maxed out and really excited to celebrate Glenn Blakeney for his contribution to media, but also the panelists that will be pretty much discussing the role, the importance of local media. People from various mediums in Bermuda will be joining that panel to engage all of us. And we'll have a nice old dinner and conversation. So looking forward to engaging with so many of you in person. Even you who don't like me, but you just like to show up in the comments or, kind of peek out your window looking at me, say something you don't agree with. But really looking forward to the gala, April 26th. Actually, doors open at 7 o'clock at LF Wade International Airport. But without further ado, we've got a very special guest today. Let's give a warm TDH welcome, a warm welcome to someone who's usually in the audience. She's a member of the TDH community. Let's welcome Stacy-Ann Brown. Hello. Welcome. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm wonderful. I mean, this is our first time like seeing you live and in person. Usually we see you capturing all the awards back there.
I made it on the screen. Yes.
Yeah. So before we get into anything, we got to ask you, it's World Art Day. What is your favorite kind of art?
Oh, I love all kinds of art, music, theater, poetry, and I'm really enjoying the new murals that's been done all across Bermuda recently. They're really absolutely stunning.
All right. Okay. I think you're with Charles. He loves those murals
Yes.
too. All righty. All righty. Well, thank you for doing this. Thank you for so many people don't like to show their face. They like to be behind the computer and participate. So we appreciate you. But before we jump into the conversation, for those who don't know you, just give the audience a bit about your background and what it is that you do.
Sure. I am a chartered certified accountant. I've been in accounting for over 17 years. I'm actually from Jamaica, moved to Bermuda just over 8 years ago, and I worked in external auditing for over 10 years. And then I moved into the industry. I am the VPR of public relations for the Bermuda Toastmasters Club, and I joined Toastmasters because I had this overwhelming fear of public speaking. Whenever I spoke in front of an audience, my heart would race, my palms would be sweaty, all the fun stuff. Not so fun, but
Relatable, relatable. Well, tell the audience, because some people may not know what it is. What exactly is Toastmasters?
sure. So Toastmasters is a nonprofit organization. We help persons to overcome their fear of public speaking as well as to develop their communication and leadership skills.
Alrighty. And audience, are you familiar? I want to see if anyone in the audience are you familiar with Toastmasters at all? Someone's calling you out, and I was wondering because I thought we were cool, but someone in the audience is calling you out.
Charles,
I thought
these
we
are
were cool.
actually Toastmasters colors.
All right. 'Cause I mean,
But yay, Somerset.
oh my goodness.
We're still friends, don't worry.
We're working on you. But audience, has anyone in the audience participated or knows about Toastmasters? As I said, when I was in graduate school, I joined Toastmasters and I kind of learned a lot. People, as I said earlier, people think because I've been on TV or radio that, oh, I'm good with public speaking. And I keep telling people, when you're doing this, you don't know how many people are looking at you and you don't feel it. It feels differently. But when you're in a public setting where there are people like all eyes on you and you literally have to look, it's tough. It's tough. It's not the same. And you've got to have a certain, personality if you're not trained to do it. So I find a lot of value with Toastmasters. Crystal Lunell says, yes, very familiar with Toastmasters. And I think this is even something that can help, organizations with people. But how has, from a personal perspective for you, like how has Toastmasters helped you in your professional and personal life?
Sure. So, as I mentioned, I had this unexplainable, overwhelming fear of public speaking. As an external auditor, when I worked in the field, I had to deal with clients, CEOs, CFOs, and I was finding it very hard to even communicate the things that I needed to communicate. And so I decided to join Toastmasters. I joined Toastmasters after I left the field of external auditing, but I have seen tremendous progress in terms of even for the first 5 months when I was in Toastmasters, I entered the uh, the club's contest because there's a speech contest that goes all the way up to the international level. And I entered the contest at the club level after 5 months of joining and actually won, which was like mind blowing. But that just goes to show the depth and how much Toastmasters is effective. I have also been able to sit in meetings and communicate my ideas clearly. I've also been able to just help others in terms of being a mentor, helping them to overcome their fears of public speaking as well.
Indeed. Thank you for that. And when we think about Toastmasters, because quite a few people in the audience, we've got Michelle Dorsett, one of my former colleagues, gave a presentation on Toastmasters. We've got Nicole Walker said through a previous employer, they had a company club. Also, Lorna Miner says she's familiar with Toastmasters. Michelle White says, heard about Toastmasters many years ago, 30 plus, but haven't heard about them since. Well, that's why we're here. I'm glad now you're hearing about them again, Michelle. But speaking to that, who is Toastmasters for? Like, who can join? Does one need to be a public speaker or have experience in public speaking?
No experience necessary. Toastmasters is for everyone. So, some of the audience mentioned there being a club from their company. So there are two types of club. We have an open club where any person can join, and there are currently two open clubs in Bermuda, Bermuda Toastmasters Club and the On the Rock Toastmasters Club. And then we have the closed clubs, which are the ones that companies will come and form for employees. And those are only open to the employees of that institution. So it's for the open clubs, anyone can join from 18 years all the way up. And there is absolutely no experience that's necessary. You come in, we've had persons come in for a short while. We had a gentleman who actually just wanted to gain some confidence because his daughter was getting married and he was supposed to give a toast and he was not comfortable doing that at all. And so he came in, we were able to coach him, mentor him, and help him. And he did an amazing job with that. So Toastmasters is open to each and everyone. No experience at all that's necessary.
Indeed. And audience, if you have any questions or comments for Stacy-Ann Brown, you can send them through. Wanda Armstrong says, yes, my previous employer used Toastmasters for their improvement of public speaking for their employees. And Crystalline L says, I believe I joined the Bermuda Toastmasters Club held at the Chamber of Commerce, but this was pre-COVID. Well, let's go back to it. Like, I am obviously public speaking, but outside of public speaking, what are some other skills that people can develop through Toastmasters?
There are so many relatable skills like being a leader. When you join Toastmasters, you are able to develop different skills. You can work on your interview skills. There are persons who need to learn strategies of when they are going into an interview, how to approach the interview. We teach you that. Social skills, that is also on the table. We also learn how to do impromptu speaking. It's so amazing that impromptu speaking, there are so many persons who just, when you think about it, is so scared of it. But impromptu speaking is just speaking off the cuff, things that you do every day. For example, somebody who works in customer service picks up the phone, answers a call, answers questions. But sometimes things like that actually scares people. And so we help you to work on those kinds of skills as well.
Indeed. And audience, if you have any questions or comments, send them through. Charles H. Jeffs II, he's asking, how much time is required and what does a typical meeting look like?
That's a good question. So it's a self-paced course. You join and you move at your own pace. Some persons go through the program and do it within 2 years. Some people take 10 years. We know life happens, and from time to time, things will happen. And we've had persons who join, stop, come back, but it's all self-paced. The thing that is necessary for you to know is that there's a structured course. So we have something that's called pathways. And once you come in, you're assigned a mentor. You sign up on pathways. You choose the path that you want to actually start off with. And currently, there are 6 paths from dynamic leadership, presentation mastery, innovative planning, motivational strategies, and you learn stuff like that. And you go through each path at your own pace. You can, if you know exactly what aspect of your public speaking, communication, or leadership that you want to work on, then you can select a path that is aligned to that. Or you can do a questionnaire, and the questionnaire will help guide you to choose that path. In terms of what a typical meeting looks like, the meeting is actually structured into 3 parts. We have the prepared speeches, so persons get to actually come in and prepare speak from a prepared speech. So you'll get, based on the pathways that you are working on, you prepare your presentation, you come in and you give your speech. We assign that you an evaluator because, of course, feedback is necessary so you know how you are doing and where you need to improve. After that, we have the impromptu section of our meeting where persons learn to do off the cuff speaking. So we give you a topic, you speak for 1 to 2 minutes, and of course, you get feedback on that as well. And then the other part of the meeting is our evaluation. Of course, as I mentioned, feedback is necessary. So we provide evaluations on all the presentations that will allow you to see where you did well and what areas you need to improve on.
None of this is virtual, correct?
It's virtual. Our meetings are hybrid and in person, which means in person and online. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Charles H. Jefferson, on the follow-up question, are there any annual dues and or per class fee?
Yes, there is an annual dues. The fee is $212 per year. There
Hmm.
is a $20 fee included in that, which is a one-time fee only. So once you join, you pay that $20 plus 192, and then if you go on from there, it's only $192 annually.
Okay. Um, and how can, like, if an organization or like individuals have tuned into you this morning and they're like, man, I need this, I want to do this. How can they go about doing it? Signing up?
Sure. So you can send us an email at bermudatm@gmail.com, or you can engage with us on social media. We are on Facebook, Bermuda Toastmasters Club, and we're also on Instagram, Bermuda Toastmasters Club. So reach out to us on whichever means is easier for you, and we will definitely be in contact with you.
I just want to run it back. So Toastmasters, if you can name three things that people will walk away with as far as benefits, just three. I mean, there's many things, but what would you say some of the top three benefits are for those who join Toastmasters?
My top three would definitely be increased confidence in your public speaking. You would learn the skills necessary to overcome that fear. Leadership skills, because of course we go out and help you to develop those leadership skills. We encourage persons to take on executive roles as
Mhm.
a member of the club. And then thirdly, improve your listening skills, because listening skills is actually a very critical skills in today's world. People don't usually like to listen, or just sitting down and committing yourself to listening is sometimes very difficult, especially in today's world.
And you know what's crazy? We started the show off, and I said that we live in a dangerous time where we are so dismissive, and we don't even understand that being dismissive is a sign of us not listening. Like we're living dismissing things. And I'm glad you said that, because perspective is everything. I absolutely enjoyed Toastmasters. I got out of it so much, but I think it will be helpful for almost anyone, even those who work in like our space, like people in media. People
Yep.
think, oh, they can do this, they did it. No, it's a big difference, folks. Trust me, it is. It's a scary thing speaking live in front of live people. And then I'm glad you mentioned the confidence part, because you could be asked by your company to speak to the board or CEOs, and all of a sudden you're nervous, right?
Yep.
Preparing you for that stuff, it's so much to it. So I'm glad that this does exist in Bermuda. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know if Toastmasters existed in Bermuda, and I think you can. We
Really?
met. I forget where. We met somewhere, and you mentioned. I was like, oh, absolutely. And as a person who had been in it previously, I definitely am grateful that you've trusted this platform to have this. And Charles H. Jeffs II says he can tell from this that Stacy-Ann has great listening skills. Okay.
Thank you, Charles.
I mean, I don't know. He was taking shots at you first.
I know.
Yeah, he was. What else would you say to the audience this morning as far as public speaking? I mean, there are people who might be going into the office this morning nervous that they have to present to their fellow sales team, right? And that's public speaking, because you're still
Yeah.
speaking in front of people that maybe are not your family or your friends, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say that we have so many different ways of helping persons. You can come in, join the meeting, just observe and see what it's like, and then just take a little time, dip your toes in, start off with impromptu, and then you can consider joining. We also help companies on a whole. So we have what is called Speechcraft, where we have gone into various companies around the island and
Mm.
help them just to do a 6-week course with employees. And they learn about overcoming fear. They learn about body language and gestures. And they also learn about your vocal variety, you're using your pitch and your tone. And also, there's just so many how to construct a speech, your beginning, the conclusion versus the body. And there's so many aspects of it. So we can do that for companies if they want, separate and apart from becoming a member of Toastmasters. And we also even have programs where we help the youths. We have what is called a GAVA club that exists in, currently it used to be 2 institutions in Bermuda, but now it's only 1 high school that's currently doing it because the coordinator at the other institution left. But so we actually have that for teens as well. So that's available where we can even come in and help them to facilitate the meetings and all of that, as well as just come by, stop by, join, see what it's like, and you will be amazed. I can guarantee you that once you see what it's like, you will not want to leave again.
Well, Nas 98 says Bermuda Toastmasters will celebrate 29 years present in
Absolutely.
Bermuda.
Thank you, Nas.
So Toastmasters is older than
29
Maya,
years, yes.
older than Simone, older than Teray. Wow, Toastmasters
But
is
actually, Toastmasters International just
Mhm.
turned 100 years old. We celebrated our
Wow.
centennial anniversary last year, October. So
Mhm.
Toastmasters has been around for over a century.
Man, Toastmasters is older than Charles. Wow. Um, can someone attend 1 or 2 meetings before making a financial commitment?
Absolutely. It is open for you to come in, join, see what it's like. And then if you want to make the commitment, we will definitely be there to encourage you to do that.
All right. One question for the audience before you head out. Audience, are you interested in joining Toastmasters? Like, are you a person who feels like you can benefit from Toastmasters? I'll tell you what, I'll be reaching out to you because I want to see what we can do for our crew. I'll tell you, I'm putting her on the spot. But my goodness, she doesn't speak publicly, man. If she could stand behind, she's an accountant, right? Like you, but she likes the numbers thing. She'd rather not, but she does. She does, but she'd rather not. But I'd love for us to definitely sit in a meeting or 2 and really get an understanding. And those who want to go with it, go with it. But it's one of those things where it literally costs you nothing but time, right? And you have to figure out if your time's better spent improving in this space or not. So thank you, Stacy. Appreciate you coming on and having this. Well, one question. We have one of our viewers, Sean Smith. He is based in Portugal. So he was wondering, do they have a branch in Portugal? Do you know?
I personally don't know, but you can definitely go on to the Toastmasters International website and do a search, and it will be able to tell you.
Okay. You did say it starts 18 and up. So Charles is basically trying to figure out if he is going over the age limit. So is there
No limit. No, the minimum is 18, but
no
there's no
limit?
limit.
You're in luck, Charles. You're right. Stacy, thank you so much for making time for us. And yeah, we look forward to chatting. Michelle should be hitting you up. It says time is her enemy, but she should be hitting you up. Right?
I know. Time is everyone's enemy.
Yep. We can make it work. We'll find a way. Have a wonderful day, my friend.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Have a
No
good
problem.
one.
Stacy-Ann Brown, folks. Happy to have her, man. I met her. I know it where it was. It was at Bacardi, the what's it called? The vendors market. Love meeting you all in person and awesome to meet you and have you on the show. Folks, don't go anywhere. If you appreciated the conversation with Stacy-Ann Brown today, you know what to do, whether you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter X, or Instagram. Give us a like, love, follow, share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. What we can do with a better public speaking community. I like the sounds of that. Stick with us. We'll be back, and I've got something in store. I want to see how many of you know your history. Stick with us.
April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. Children depend on every single caring adult in our community to make sure they are safe from sexual harm. Keeping them safe not just in April, but every day. Whether you're a parent, a guardian, a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, or a caregiver, we ask that you take just 3 hours out of your busy schedule to learn what you can do to make sure the precious children in your life are protected. They are worth it. Join the SCARS certified adults by simply visiting our website to sign up for a free SCARS training session. Learn about online and body safety, how to protect them, and how to respond if they are harmed. This information is vital to their well-being and their future. Because they are children, it is our responsibility, Bermuda, to protect them. Visit scarsbermuda.com and learn what you can do to help the child in your life stay safe.
Considering the increasing challenges faced by financial institutions, the need for insurance protection is a critical component of the risk management framework. At Friesenbrook, our priority is to safeguard your assets with the most optimal, cost-effective risk management cover to help protect your business, whether it be cyber, directors and officer liability, professional indemnity, or property insurance. Call us on 296-3600 to learn more about our full suite of competitive corporate insurance products. At Friesenbrook, we provide insurance you can count on.
BAC's new Cola showroom is now open. Throughout April, for every $50 spent, your name will be entered to win great raffle prizes. Come learn from BAC, where luxury meets affordability.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Novazok Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
Join us as we celebrate 5 years and 1,000 plus episodes of community conversations on Bermuda's daily talk show. The Daily Hour Gala takes place on April 26th at LF Wade International Airport. For more information and advance tickets, please send an email to admin@bermudacommunications.com. We look forward to celebrating all that's great about our community with all of you.
Alrighty, welcome back. Thank you so much to Stacy-Ann Brown for making time for us and having such an important conversation about improving our public speaking. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can have these conversations with you on a regular basis. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, audience, it's a remember when. Here we go. Y'all better get this. What year was Martin Luther King Jr. assassinated? Just gonna say, y'all better not, you Google. Yes, Michelle Doors. It was 1968. 1968, April 4th, 1968. Mark Arthur C. Phillips said 56. We got 64 from Anika the Shield, 65, 63 from Suzanne Ingham. But yes, Zena Trott and Jewel Eve and Michelle White and Nicole Walker and Sherilyn Johnson and Monda Armstrong and Rosalind Famous. It was 1968, as Michelle Doors first said. Yeah, it's 1968. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. I got another question. This comes from the audience. Does anyone know what his legal first name was when he was born? Does anyone know what Dr. King's legal first name was when he was born? Anyone know what his legal first name was when he was born? No Google, you all. No Google. No one knows? Okay. Or should I put the music on? Let's put the music on. How many people know? A lot of people don't know this. So I gave you a double question and you don't know the answer, huh? His first name was Michael. It was Michael. So he was not born Martin. He was born Michael. Yes. All right, folks. So you learned something today if you didn't know. Michael. No, it was not. Yeah, it was not Martin. It was Michael. He was born Michael. All righty. Let's wrap it up. So look, as I said earlier, I think Graham Smith said it about the current state of Bermuda since the election. We have a lot to be concerned about, but also a lot to be grateful for. I think Bermuda right now is in a very interesting place because of what's going on in the United States and other places. We just need to make sure that our government has the capacity, intellectual capacity, and ability to navigate these rough seas right now. While they're doing that, it's up to the people of Bermuda, the electorate, to ensure that they understand what's going on enough to hold them accountable. I've said it before, your MPs are not necessarily going to knock on your door. You may not see them because the truth is, for me, they should be out there working. I don't want them on my doorstep. But if you'd like to see them, make time. Reach out to them. Go to them. Go to them. It's okay. Throw pride out the window. As far as the conversation with Stacy-Ann Brown, really, really, truly appreciate when you all from the audience, and we've had quite a few of you: Rosalind Famous, Traveling Trotty, Kenton Trot, Rashida Godwin, Blame My Head, Not My Heart, Michelle White. We've had a lot of you come on as guests, and it's appreciated because you are of value in our community. And so, Stacy-Ann Brown, thank you for trusting our platform to speak about Toastmasters, a program that can help every and any Bermudian who has the opportunity to speak or have a voice. I think Toastmasters is a very beneficial program. So if you're interested in improving your public speaking, please reach out. And if you know someone else who may be able to benefit from it, reach out. You never know. All right, daily inspiration. I don't have nothing for you, so we're just gonna go in the quote book and find. Okay. All right. It landed on Althea Gibson, sorry. She said, quote, "I always wanted to be somebody. If I made it, it's half because I was game enough to take a lot of punishment along the way, and half because there were a lot of people who cared enough to help me," end quote. Yeah. No one does it alone, folks. It's always some others that are contributing to people's success. All right, folks. Hey, we've got 15 tickets left for the gala. There will be a cutoff on Friday. So I'm going to say Thursday, since everyone's going to be full on fish cakes on Friday, for fish cakes and hot cross buns. So if you haven't gotten your ticket already and you truly want to attend, you need to purchase your tickets today. You can either go to thedailyhour.com and scroll down and purchase them, or you can reach out to us, admin at bermudacommunications.com. But we look forward to seeing you all and celebrating 5 years, media industry, as well as the contribution of Glenn Blakeney to this very industry, which benefits us all so greatly in Bermuda. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are Izzel. Peace.